Hi guys, welcome to Design Gupshup YouTube channel. Uh, Today we'll be talking about how to write a UX case study for interview process, and I know that it is one of the most asked asked topic. So I thought of picking it up for you guys. So you can keep on asking questions as we go along. I would love to answer them all. The questions that I will not pick in between, please do share it on the comment or chat window so that I can pick it up at the end. So I'm starting to share my presentation and we can start from there. So basically, I would like to start with the job description. So for any interview process, job description is the most important thing which we all missed out on. So sometimes it happens कि हमारे पास job description आती है but we don't go through it, we don't read through it well, and that is the uh, most negative thing that we do, because this is the most important thing that we should do before applying for that particular job, before making a presentation or something. So I would totally recommend that one should not get lazy in reading the job description well, because that will give you an idea what your interviewer is looking for, what kind of jobs and roles and responsibility are expected from you. You will get to know their expectation. Like when I talk about expectation, I mean that are they looking for a visual person, or are they looking for a person who can do research, or are they looking for a person who can just do a wireframing and give to a UI designer? So job description is a very critical part, and you should go through a job description once before working on their assignment or going through their interview process. The other thing I want to highlight, that see what designation they are assigning you, because every designation has different meaning. If it is UX designer, you will be working more on wireframing and strategizing part, but if it's UI designer, you will be working more on the visual part. If it's UX UI, then you will be like a product designer, you will be working on more towards UI and UX part. But if it's product designer, you will be hand holding with the product manager and strategizing and implement building the product together. So you have to be very critical about the things which you are reading in the job description. If you think that you are a good resource for that company, you should spend time working on their case study. Otherwise you can just skip it out, because every case study take lot of your efforts. So you should choose on what kind of job you want to apply for. Another thing I want to highlight in job descriptions, design jobs, are that you have to understand your audience well. So here, when you are working on your case study, you have to understand that for whom you are writing it for. Are you writing it for recruiter? If you are writing it for the recruiter, then you should highlight the keywords like ideation, search, visualize visuals and all those things, because these are the people who will be looking for these keywords and taking you to the next level. In India, majorly recruiters are dependent on designers acceptance, but there are a lot of companies, big companies like Google, Microsoft, where the recruiters are smart enough to take the decision on their own if they are willing to take you to next level or not. So you have to be very keen observer in understanding who will be your target audience. So you have to also understand who reached out to you for the job role. Is it a recruiter? Is it some consultant? Is it a designer or a head of design? You should understand that area also. The other kind of audience that we have for our case study is majorly the designer, the pro designer of the team, and the head of design. So they have different expectations from you, which is not there in the case of recruiter. What they expect from you is that they will mainly look for the approach that you have followed in your case study. So you have to be very precise, you have to be very clear in communicating the process that you are following in your case studies. To stop here, you can post your questions, and I'll be taking them as we go. So don't hesitate to post anything. uh, okay, moving back. The other thing that they will analyze is your problem solving skill. Are you breaking the problem? Because generally in case study they will give you the abstract problem, and they want you to break it into different problems, break the problem, and pick major 3 4 key problems. So they will, that means they will understand that how you actually tackle a problem. So you have to, they will judge you on your solving ability too. Another thing that they will judge you on will be the quality of your key problems, like they, because they have given you one abstract problem and now you are actually breaking them into the different problems. So they will be judging you what kind of problems you have picked. Are they actually relevant or are they too generic? So they will be judging you on that. Plus they will be more interested in the research insights, because if you are applying for a job role for ux ui or product designer, they will be interested to know if you have carried out certain research. Research could be anything like online or user interview, but they would be interested to know your insights about it. Plus they will be very much interested about the quality of execution, because at the end you will be a owner of a product, you will be owning that particular feature in the company, and they would love to see the execution. They would know, they should feel that you are the right resource for them, because you can execute the problem well too. Plus when it comes to head of design, there are other responsibilities too, which is like if you are fit in a team, what is their hiring budget, if there's a urgent need, then they will look for the notice period, how much notice period you have to serve. So all those things will also be considered. The other person who generally take our interview is product manager, and though he will be also looking for your approach and problem solving ability, but he will also look for how you have break down the problem into phases, and understanding of your understanding of KPIs, like how much you are business driven, how much you are user needs driven. So he will try to understand what kind of goal you set before starting your case study. What is the kind of business goal you have set for, what kind of matrix you are trying to target in your case study. All those things he will check and review before, while taking your interview. Plus he will also be concerned about the quality of your execution. And another thing is very important. So generally ऐसा होता है कि मतलब they have given us the case study, and we tend to think that, yeah, let's not ask much question, they might feel bad or they might not like it, they think that कि मुझे नहीं आता है. So it's totally bullshit. I would say that you should ask a lot of questions to them. I would say that it is very important to ask the question. It is very important to understand their expectations from the assignment. Because when you get to know, when you realize what is kind of expectation they are, what is their expectation from assignment, you can work on your case study in that manner only. If you think that they're looking for more of a visual person, they're looking more towards execution, then you can make it look more beautiful and you can make it look more, image heavy. But if you think that the person is looking for a UX designer from a perspective that he can strategize, he can work with product managers, you should focus more on research part. You can focus more on the content part, so that you can give them better insights in terms of what kind of research you have done, why you have done it, with what kind of users you have done it, how you have chosen the users, and all those things. So it is very very important to ask questions. Don't just jump onto the assignment and submit it. It's better. अगर कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हमारा there are lot of times that our first round of discussion is not scheduled. People want you to submit your assignment first, and then they review your assignment, and then they will take you to next level. Make sure you make a request to your recruiter that you need to uh, talk to a designer or somebody from the team and ask him questions about it, because then you will understand what is their assumption during a question during this. You should ask them questions related to their assumption about the problem, what kind of target audience they have in mind, what kind of if you have some doubts, or if you need some clarity about a problem statement, you should definitely ask them. Plus do ask them about the final deliverables, because sometimes in uh, in that case study assignment, generally it is written wireframe is sufficient or something like that. But I would like to tell you that wireframes are not sufficient. Execution is very important. So even if you are working heavily on wireframe, maybe you have worked on 20 screen wireframes or digital wireframes, black and white screens, but make sure that you make there 2 3 to 5 the final screens in your each case study, even if they're not asking for that, because that is very important, because that is the one area that they will judge you on. So it's very important. So I have got few questions. Let me take few questions here. Okay. So I think Nishta is asking me, should we write different case studies for recruiter and one for the manager? No, you should not. You should not write different case studies. You should understand what is the need of complete set of interviewers, like what is the need of your recruiter, design head and designer, and product manager. And in one case study you should highlight all those things very clearly. You should never write them separately, because that will not be a good idea, and they will not give you any brownie points on that. uh, Vaishnavi is asking, in a portfolio, is it good to mention all research process along with UI, or minimal research data with design is fine? Okay, I'll be taking up this question in a while. So when I'll be landing to that particular area. Another question from Nishta is, ma'am, don't they give the case study problem? A few interview I appeared for, they gave me a problem. Okay, I'm not getting this question. Can you just rewrite this question again, Nishta? Okay, what is KPI? KPI is the key metric that basically it is the kind of they are the key metric. They are your primary goal. So before starting any case study, you should know how to write, how to decide on what kind of goals you are targeting to. If your case study is about some food designing of a food delivery app or something like that, what kind of user goal and what kind of business goal you are solving it for? Because when you are writing a case study for an interview, they expect you to think like a product designer, think from a area where they have given you a generic problem. Find the goal, write a overview or introduction or a problem, again a problem statement for it. Write what kind of goals you are solving for in the case study. So that is the primary thing. So goals are really important for the product manager, because he will look at what kind of business goals you are solving, and what are the user goals, and how they are coming together, and how what kind of opportunities you have found in your case studies to showcase. So yeah, I will be taking all these topics aage. So let me move forward now. So get started. So this, be realistic in your approach. I've seen like lot of portfolios and lot of interview case study where people go and write empathy map, affinity map. मतलब जरूरत क्या है? मतलब कोई कर ही नहीं सकता वो, मतलब फॉर योर केस स्टडी यू कैन नॉट डू दैट, मतलब इट्स योर इंटरव्यू केस स्टडी, मतलब you can do that, but it's not realistic. In given time you cannot spend too much time making a empathy map or affinity map. It looks like a visual thing for me, it looks like you are making something good because that could impress me, but it is not actually impressing me. So the realistic approach for any interview case study is that you do research, you do ideation, and you do execution. These are the three primary steps. There is iteration, which is non-mandatory. In ideation, iteration, majorly you focus on that you have done the execution, then you have went one step ahead, get your prototype tested with your users and make the changes. But ideation is not that mandatory in the complete process. You should focus on the research you want to follow, the ideation process. You should spend a lot of time in ideation, because that is how you will be judged, that is how your head of design or pro designer or product manager will understand your problem solving ability. Plus execution is really important. So try to spend less time on research and more time on ideation and execution. So I would like to tell you how to do a quick research when you are writing a case study for interview. So generally क्या होता है कि they generally give you like 4 days time, right? And usme they will ask you like 4 days mein you have to do a research, you have to ideate, solve a problem, everything you have to do, sketches and make a prototype, and then test it. They ask you for everything. So you have to take a decision very smartly. Like you have to understand what they are actually looking for. They are actually looking from, when they talk about research, they are actually looking for the insights that you have collected. The research could be online or could be user interview. It's never said in any case study assignment that you have to do only user interview or you have to make a questionnaire and get it filled. It is never said. It could be online, it could be user interview. So when you are doing a online research, it's okay to read blogs, it's okay to read take a reference of any case study that is already there. So it's completely fine. So you can do research, but you should mention that you have taken all these insights from these particular sites and how old the data is. You cannot refer to 10-year-old data and say that this is a kind of insight which I have figured out or I have found, which is irrelevant for any body, right? So try to focus more on the current data. Try to focus more on a data which is only 2-3 years old. So if you are doing online research, make sure that you with the insight you should give like what sites you have referred, how old is the data, and your insights. If you are doing a user interview, don't spend much time in making a questionnaire, getting it filled and all those things, because then you are adding one more layer, because then I will also judge you on kind of questions you have asked. Rather I would say that choose set of users, this very mindfully, like why you are choosing those users, because these users should be in your target audience, what you are assuming for. For example, if I say ki, if I have to deliver I have to make a food delivery app, then I will not choose a student. I will rather choose somebody who is working, or somebody who is staying out who is staying in a PG or a rented home. So I will choose someone like that, rather than going for the a person who is a student or maybe a teacher or something like that. You cannot choose people like that. So you should select your audience, tell about why you have selected them, how you have chosen them, and then you have given them insight. Try to take set an appointment with them, or set a 5 minutes 10-minute telephonic conversation with them. Ask very generic question and open-ended question. Try to figure out what is their key problems and their key pain points related to a problem that you are solving for. So try to be really quick in research. Don't spend like more than 3 to 4 hours on this, like that is also like a lot, but yeah, maybe 3 to 4 hours is maximum that you can spend on quick research and write your insights about it, because that is what interviewer will be looking for, the insights. The other part comes is ideation. You should spend a lot of time here, try to understand how to do ideation. So when I talk about ideation, I don't mean sketching, making rough sketches, taking inspiration from dribble and making your own sketches out of it and showing it in your portfolio or a case study assignment. It's not that. When it comes to case study, interview case study, you actually have to do ideation. When I talk about ideation, then it means first break down the problem. So generally, whenever you are given any problem in UX assignment, case study assignment, they will give you very generic problem, like design a food delivery app which is efficient and something, or design a ATM bank for children, something like that, which is very generic, because they want to understand that how you break the problem. So you have to be very strategic about it. You have to understand, dive deep into it and understand what the problem is. If you are asked to design a ATM for children, what kind of problems could be there, like बहुत ब्रेक डाउन करो, मतलब देयर कुड बी हाइट प्रॉब्लम, देयर कुड बी मतलब देयर कुड बी अ प्रॉब्लम व्हिच सेज कि मतलब हाइट बच्चे की इतनी छोटी होती है दैट they are unable to type anything on the keyboard, or maybe they are not able to see the screen, they get bored out of it, or they are not getting enough information when they are typing, like they need like lot of visual and audio clues. So you have to think of those kind of problems, you have to break it down. So when first step, like I'll be explaining you how to break down a problem first. I have a lot of questions. I would be taking all these questions in the end, because some of them are some most of the questions I will cover as I will go. So I would suggest just keep posting your questions. I will take each and every question in the end. So how to break down a problem? So here I've given you an example so that it is clear for you. First, here I'm taking a case study, example for a case study, like build a food delivery app which is efficient and smart. So if certain problem come to you, how you will break them into pieces. So maybe a problem could be one tap checkout, because sometimes making a decision what you want to have becomes a hassle, because if you have a meeting or you are working in an office, then most of the time ऐसा होता है कि lunch तो निकल गया, 3 बज गए, अभी तक खाना ही नहीं आया क्योंकि मीटिंग में थे, because you cannot make decision too fast what you have to eat. That could be one problem. So other could be recommendation. If I would have get like lot of recommendation from this app, I would have just ordered it. Then maybe most frequently ordered meal in during lunchtime when I'm in office, I don't want to think about what I can eat. I just need suggestion, I can order it because I have to rush to another meeting. So all those things, plus there is mood, there is cuisine, so you have to break it into pieces. Like this is a generic problem given to you, break them. You don't have to use any tool. If you just use pen and paper to break these problem, you don't have to show it to anybody. Even if you will add these papers to your case study, they will not get any word out of it. So try to be very much in your own zone and figure out a way in which you feel comfortable in breaking down the problem. Then you can choose 2 3 key problems which you want to focus on, which you want to show, which you want to execute, which you want to talk about in your presentation when there will be a case study round, which you when you have to give them a walkthrough about your case study. So maybe 2 3 key problems in this particular use case could be categorization and recommendation. Well, it means this is an example, you can break it down much better. Then once you have picked out the primary problem that you are focusing on, I would suggest further break it down. how you will categorize it. Maybe you will categorize it by nearby restaurant, because then it make delivery faster. Or maybe you can frequently order, because if a person is a South Indian and very keen in eating dosa at least thrice a week, so and he sometimes he's too busy to order a meal, then ordering a dosa is much convenient for him. So try to give him that kind of suggestions, best in budget. Like, I am like a kind of pocket friendly person, so I'm looking for a meal which is pocket friendly. So maybe 150 ka a thali, maybe those kind of suggestion, best in budget. So you have to understand, like you have to break down the problem. The kind of freedom you have in this, that you don't have to think about the constraints and implementation issue, because this will be just concept. So be as creative as you can. Try to be as try to give as much useful solutions to them, because here you don't have to concern about implementation, about the dev effort, about all those things. They are looking for you as a creative person. They are looking for your approach. They are looking for how you can break down the problem. So all those things, so you can be as creative as you can. Another step is that you list down pain point, motivation, and opportunities. So this is a kind of graph that I follow, and I'm sure that I must have seen it somewhere, and I've started following it, but I don't know where I've seen and how I've seen it. But yeah, now I'm following it since quite a long time. So I make three circles. Uh, suppose this yellow circle is for the pain point, the blue circle is for the motivation, and the red circle for the brand touch point. And the inner part where all these things are collapsing are basically our opportunities. So when I talk about the motivations, the motivation could be, ordering food is convenient, is easy, uh, it's um, it's easy, it's convenient. And what else you can think of? Like, tell me some few motivation that could be associated with the food delivery thing. uh, s- I'm okay, so I cannot see my screen, YouTube screen now, but I'm sure you must be typing something. So let me just move forward. So just try to n- jot down these points, like motivation, pain points, motivation, and brand touch points. So basically, pain points are the kind of things user feel hassle for, like delayed delivery, limited food option. But what kind of things can be an opportunity for business? Like too many steps. If I see that if there are too many steps, then there's a business opportunity, there's a brand opportunity, that they can make it the process little faster. They can add the recommendation thing. Forget to order on time. मतलब मेरा lunch निकल गया, 3 बज गए, मैं मीटिंग में था, मैं order नहीं कर पाया. So this is a kind of opportunity that business has, and this is a kind of pain point that a customer has. So this, it becomes the opportunity for us. Same grow goes with the brand touch point. Like red one is brand touch point. I don't know why the tags are not showing, but the red one is brand touch point. So in brand touch point, it is like different vendors. As a brand, I give option to you from different vendors, but I have food subscription also. But then why people are not noticing it? That becomes an opportunity for that brand. So try to make this map, just brainstorm on it. If you have any problem, then maybe you can write to me about this. But it is very, very useful. Once you will understand how to work on it, it becomes very useful for you in the interview case study, because that is how you can come up with a lot of opportunity for the business. And you can understand that what kind of pain point, because because you're making assumptions, you have already done your research. Now you can know, now you know that what are the motivations and pain point. As a food delivery app, what will be the brand touch point? It will be different vendor, it will be different cuisines, it will be nearby vendors, it will be food subscription. All those things could be brand touch point. Like, brand से मुझे क्या मिल रहा है, brand क्या मुझे देना चाह रहा है. कस्टमर को, वो सब। और बीच में जब अपॉर्चुनिटीज तुम्हें निकलेगी ना, तुम्हें समझ आएगा कि यस, आई कैन सॉल्व फॉर इट, आई कैन मेक an execution for this, I can make it in my final screen. This is something, it becomes creative, it becomes original. Matlab, rather than just going with online research and taking inspiration from the case studies that is out there, it becomes original, it becomes yours. So I would definitely suggest that in ideation part you should follow this process. And you can also use this map to paste it on your final case study PDF, so that they also understand that you have made some effort to come up with with the solution. Other point is define user personality, basically customer profile. So when I talk about customer profile, I've seen people taking picture from Unsplash or Google or something and then write random things about that person ki वो 25 से 30 एज का था, वो खाना ऑर्डर करता था, वो ये करता था, वो, that is something which you should never do, because that looks so fake to me, because that means you have not explored much about your target audience. You have just taken some template out there from the Google or Pinterest or anything, and you have made that template and put the template into your thing. I would suggest just spend some time in ideation, use any tool that you like, try to figure out कि एक food delivery app. Now I have spoken to 5 users. Now I have my own research insights. Now I have also figured out the pain points and motivation. Now I can analyze, I can assume what could be their gender, what could be their age, what salary slab they are in, where he stays, with whom he stays. You can easily make assumptions about these things. You can easily ask these kind of questions in your interview. So try to be little original. You have already figured out motivation to order food online, so you will not take much time to write all those things like the keywords convenient, easy, and all those things. Then pain point from while ordering food, it could be forget to order food as I'm in a meeting. So all those things you can completely write it, like lazy people forget to order food on time and all those things. So now you know, because you have already followed 2-3 steps before, and now you know like your what you are designing it for whom you are designing. You know their needs, you know their behavior, you know the social forces. When I talk about behavior, I mean the general pattern. Like lot of time I'm in a meeting and I generally don't get time to order food, so I would prefer a subscription based model. Or maybe I mostly bring a home cooked food, but these days my wife is out of town, and she so I have to take order food online. So this becomes behavior could be permanent, behavior could be situational, but you can list them down now. So don't try to focus on one user, try to make it as a whole. Like एक यूजर क्या क्या ये इन इसमें क्या क्या आ सकता है, जो आ सकता है ना किसी भी यूजर का सब भर डालो, तो वैसा है. सोशल फोर्सेस कुड बी मेरा फ्रेंड भी ऑर्डर करता है तो मैं भी ऑर्डर करता हूँ, या मे बी आई सॉ दिस कैशबैक ऑफर देयर, डिस्काउंट ऑफर, एंड आई अप्लाइड इट, तो मेरे को दीज कुड बी सोशल फोर्सेस. सो for building the customer profile, you should fill all these points and not just make it for one user or make graphic or template for 2-3 users. Never do that. Plus define the customer segment. What is customer segment? I give you an example. So basically I divide my customer segment into 2 sections. One could be foodie, one could be lazy cook. Means a foodie could be a person who order food very frequently online. What are his characteristics? So now there are two people who you are focusing on. There are 2 customer segments. For that you can decide these particular thing, one for foodie and one for lazy cook. The pattern could be that the person generally order food during break for breakfast, and he take lunch thing in his office only, और रात को जाके खुद कुक करता है. तो you can define those patterns, you can assume those patterns. And styles could be, he can majorly pay online, or he generally pay on COD, or maybe he takes subscription, he is comfortable taking subscription. You should, while building a customer profile, rather than focusing more on a graphical part, you should brainstorm and ideate on all those things. Decide about your customer segments, write about all these things under each of them. Decide, think about their patterns and style. Okay, so I have one question which is specific to this. What's difference between customer segment and persona? So yes, Nishta, here I've already highlight. See, customer segment is categories of person. Like, if I say for a food delivery app only, if I talk about customer segments, then I talk about there are certain kind of users. For example, a user who is foodie who order very frequently, a lazy cook who don't like cooking and order lunch from like from this brand. So these are the segments. But when I talk about personas, I talk about specific person. Like, Nishta is 25-year-old. She works in some ABC office, and she don't like cooking, she don't like getting lunch from home, so she ordered online. So I'm talking about from a very specific, for a specific person. But in that case, I'm also restricting my my creativity for that, but like I'm designing for that Nishta only right now. But when I divide this uh, customer profile into segments, like customer segments, that I am designing for a wider audience. So this is okay. I'm moving forward. Customer journey. So now you have done 3 steps, like research. You have spent a lot of time on your ideation part, and in ideation you have like done a lot of things. Now it's time to do a customer journey map, and I don't think so that it will be a problem. So you just have to think the starting point and the end point, because now when you are building the app, when you are making the final execution, before that you have to think कि login कैसे करेगा, क्या सिर्फ phone number से login हो जाएगा, how you are planning to make your app, is it like one tap checkout app, then मतलब मैं फीड्स की तरह देना चाहता हूँ होम पेज पे, या कुछ भी देना चाहता हूँ, देन यू मेक दैट कस्टमर जर्नी मैप विच इज इजी फॉर अ पर्सन टू सी. लाइक अगर मैं इंटरव्यूअर होंगी, मैं एक बार कस्टमर जर्नी मैप देखूंगी. इफ इट्स नॉट टू कॉम्प्लेक्स, आई विल रीड थ्रू इट, आई विल स्कैन थ्रू इट, आई विल गेट टू नो like what is your thought, what are you trying to solve for. So customer journey map in the user case study for interview is really important, but don't try to make it too complex. Try to go with very basic customer journey. It's okay if you don't show everything, but highlight the main screen, main navigation areas here. For execution, I have generally seen like people add sketches, but in sketches, one generally don't get to know like what you are designing. Okay, just 1 second, I have to take this call. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so in sketches, generally rough sketches, you generally don't focus. People are interviewer is not actually looking for what kind of sketches you are making, because they will not understand what you are making, what kind of scribbling you are doing. It's okay to show it in your case study PDF, because then they will get to know that you have followed this process. But if you will think that you will make it like with markers and all, make it, beautify it and all those things, they will not get a word of it. Wireframes are good to have, because I feel that if you have worked on like too many screens, and if your assignment say that your final deliverable is wireframes, then you should show wireframes. But try to pick at least 3 to 5 screens out of your wireframes which are the complete visuals, which are complete UI. So now, just to repeat this thing, like sketches is just to show your process. So you can even have one or two sketches, that is enough. Don't waste too much space on PDF, otherwise you will make it long. Wireframe, you have to understand what your job assignment is looking for. If assignment is asking for uh, too much if assignment is saying that final deliverable is wireframes, then you can make like a lot of wireframes, like complete set of wireframes, and pick two, three, four key, 3 to 5 key screens, and make a UI out of it. So UI is mandatory. Don't escape it, even if you are working on wireframes. I would say that even if they are not asking for it, please do and make it. Go ahead and make it. It will give you brownie points. If it is asked, it will be seen as one of the key thing, but if they have not asked you, it will give you a brownie point. So don't miss out on it. Plus, if you are not clear about the deliverables, I would suggest in your introduction calls, or when you are taking calls with recruiters or designers, please do ask about the final deliverables. They give you an idea about like what they are expecting you to work on and all those things. So do ask a lot of questions. So the styles and formats. So when I talk about styles and format, it's basically visual heavy and content heavy. So when I talk about visual heavy is basically, something like comic book, that you give the content, but you also give the some visual related to that it. So you cannot decide it कि तुम्हें क्या करना है. You have to decide the expectations that your interviewer has from your case study. So उसके लिए तुमको अपने इंटरव्यूअर से बात करनी पड़ेगी. Then you can easily decide कि तुम्हें visual heavy style use करना है या तुम्हें text heavy style use करना है. When I talk about visual heavy, then if you are working on visual heavy thing, then don't make it only visual, because then it will look like कि बस पढ़ू कहाँ पे, मतलब कुछ information ही नहीं है, कुछ communication ही नहीं है. Then there cannot be one way communication. There has to be two way communication. There has to be you writing the PDF and the person who is seeing the PDF getting understanding of what you have written. So understood all those things. And even if it's visual heavy, make 60% visuals. Even if you are showing research, try to highlight, use bullets lot of time. Like अगर research insights देनी है, एक image दिखा दी, एक infographic दिखा दिया, rewrite that content, or maybe paraphrase that content in bullets. Again, avoid long sentences. This I would suggest for text heavy also. Avoid long sentences, because people generally don't read and scan through the case study. And focus more on imagery, icon, and illustration. So basically try to make it look like comic book sort of thing, that you are expressing what you have worked on. Try to use like a lot of icons, maybe use of smileys and all those things to break that monotony. So this is visual heavy style. For content heavy style, because your interviewer has asked you to work on research part, has asked you to work on the flows part, and maybe making a customer profile or persona, then it automatically becomes a text heavy thing. Then you have to think that 60% content, but still 40% should be the visual part. Use, even if you are writing content, be very precise and clear. Use bullet point. Use long sentences when it is required, not like paragraph नहीं लिखना है, मतलब then it looks too heavy. Even if you are writing long sentences, try to use lot of smileys. Even if you are writing insights, key insights, try to use lot of smileys, that breaks the monotony. Try to use infographics wherever possible, so that it is easier for your viewer to understand. The other thing which is not mentioned here, I would like to highlight that. So where you can write or post that those case studies. So basically one way could be the PDF format, that you build a PDF format on your tool like Figma, Sketch, XD, Adobe, Illustrator, anywhere, and share it on mail. Other way could be, write a Medium article in draft format and share it with them, the link. The other could be the Behance thing. It's better if it's in the draft format, because अगर मतलब पहली पोस्ट कर दिया इंटरव्यू को दिखाने से पहले, तो थोड़ा रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन चला जाता है. तो try to share things in draft format first. Once you get the response of your case study, then maybe you can publicize it or make it public. uh, Even you can make case studies in keynotes, which is not much preferable, I would, because that will restrict your creativity. But if you're making it, you have to be very thoughtful behind it. Like, you have to be very creative behind it, like when you are using keynotes to share your case studies. Yeah, so these are few mediums that I particularly use. Maybe if you have some other, you can post it and let others know all too. So this is basically a summary of what I have said. So basically, in your case study for interview, you should have a realistic process, which should comprises of online research and user interview. It's not necessary to follow both kind of research. You can pick any one of them, or you can follow both of them. In ideation, try to spend a lot of time, break down the problem, figure out motivation, pain point, and opportunities, define customer profile, and define customer journey. Because this is the area which actually tells about your approach, which is interviewer looking for. So spend lot of time here, plus it gives the originality. Because if you will refer some work or someone's work on Medium or something and make your own case study, then it will not give that kind of originality. But when you will spend a lot of time on ideation, then it you will come up with ideas, because now you are breaking down the ideation. You will be able to definitely come up with lot of ideas through this process which I've told you. Then comes execution. Now you know what you are solving for. In execution, try to make sketches first, because if you will jump to UI directly, then you will not focus much on UX. So try to be little spend little time on sketches and wireframing, because then you can fix fi- uh, fix the content which is there on means you can decide on the copy, the kind of copy you want to write on your screens, on your cards, and all those things. So I would suggest sketches and wireframes are really good exercise before building on the UI part. The non-mandatory part, which is iteration, make prototype, test, and iterate. It is a brownie thing. If you have lot of time, if your interviewer has given you lot of time, it is good to have. If you think that यहाँ पे तो जाना ही जाना है, इस company को कुछ करके ही दिखाना है, then you can obviously take that approach and you know do this iteration wala part. Otherwise you can completely avoid it. It's okay, it's no okay not to have it. So yeah. So apart from this, I would suggest that generally for especially for people who are fresher, who are looking for their first job opportunity in design industry, I would say that generally your interviewer will maximum give you 3 to 4 days to work on your case studies. And when you are dividing that case study, try to be very realistic. Try to have a 1 day time for realistic process and ideation, and another 2 days for your execution part. And as you are building on things and ideating things, try to work on your presentation. Don't keep your presentation for the last day, then you will actually miss out on the timelines. So I would suggest that and try to be on timelines, because the interviewer is interviewing a lot of people. This way you might miss out on opportunity. So 3 to 4 days is sufficient for building a case study for the interview process. Yeah, so that's it from my end. So I'll be taking a lot of questions now. Okay. So you can keep posting me questions. I'm sharing my screen where I'm getting all the questions so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. Cool. So can you see that, the screen? Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen? Oh, okay. I think you can see it, right? ठीक है. I'm just assuming that you can see it. Cool. So, should I write case? Should okay. Let me. You can keep posting your questions because I am taking questions now. Should we write different case study for recruiter and one for the manager? This I have already answered. In the portfolio, is it good to mention all research process along with UI, or minimal research data with design is fine? Okay, Vaishnavi, I think I have answered this question while taking the presentation, but I would like to repeat it again. So you should follow a quick research process because they will mainly give you 3 to 4 days to work on your case study. So having a good a section for your research will actually not make sense because they will be looking for your key insights. So if you will give information about the kind of users and how many users and why and how you have interviewed them, that would be enough. If you have done your online research for your case study, you can mention that from where you have taken that insights from, what kind of assumptions you have made, and how old is it, that data. So that would be sufficient for a research section. And along with UI design is really important. Yes, so I'm moving forward. Nishta, ma'am, don't they give the case study problem? A few interviews I appeared for, they gave a problem. Okay, I am not getting this. What is KPI? I have already answered. Can you give us a quick example for an online research? Say research is oriented towards making a business video calling application. Okay, so what is online research now? that's that's something very basic that every designer is doing. So basically online research करते कैसे हैं? गूगल बाबा खोलो, टाइप करो, और that's it. Like this is what you have to do. So basically what online research is like, मैं फूड डिलीवरी की 4-5 ऐप पे गया और मैंने 4-5 वेबसाइट्स खोली और मैंने उसको रेफर करा. So another way could be like, I have seen case study of a person who has written about product delivery app and all those things. So these these are something which is the way to follow online research. There is not any specific way. मतलब कुछ ऐसा नहीं है कि questionnaire बनाना पड़ता है, ये सब नहीं. But I'm saying that do a basic research. Uh, Go on Google, type different food delivery application or websites. Maybe if you know some food delivery applications, go and browse them. All those things you can do. Plus I think he has asked towards making a business video calling application. So you can clearly go and check with business video calling application. It could be Skype business, it could be WhatsApp business, how they are doing it, what kind of problem they are solving. Read case studies about it. If there is some insight or research paper that is shared by some person, just go through it and read through it. That could be one way. So I don't think so that it's that a big challenge. Okay, another question from Ayush. Can we use Hotjar recording as online research to analyze? Oh, Hotjar. मतलब, see, hot jar you can use, but then why for interview? I mean, I don't understand. This is the pay. Matlab, do you want to spend too much of your money for a case study interview when they are not even looking for that? So I would not recommend this. If you have too much money, then you can obviously do that, but I would definitely not recommend this. Try to go with online research and user interview. That will be sufficient and could give you enough insights. A basic question: what is difference between a project shown in the portfolio versus case study? So basically in portfolio also you write case study, and so basically there are different kinds of case study. Means I would not say different kind of case study. There are different platforms or needs when you write case study. When you write case study for your portfolio, you go with different kind of mindset. When you write it for interview, you are the your mindset is about taking that job, so you have to be very specific about what your interviewer is looking for. When you are when you are writing for it for your portfolio, then it will be more towards making it public, reaching out to a lot of your people, increasing your followers, trying to reach out to people about the processes you have followed or work you have done, trying to reach out to interviewers. So there could be multiple things, but when you are writing for interview, so that case study is given to you by interviewer. It is not your own case study, or it is not from your portfolio. It is something that is given to your by your interviewer. Now you have to solve it, like you have to come up with different solutions to that particular problem. So I think I've answered this question. If not, then you can ask me another in another question. Can you help us with online data research website and resources which we can use to submit case studies? I think I have mentioned that to submit case studies you can use medium draft format. I would not recommend that you public your case study or publish your case study before sharing it with your interviewer to review. I would say that once build your case study in medium draft, and if you think that it is so good that you want to publish it for other people to view it, then you can do it later on. But you can share your draft link with your interviewer. You can make it on Behance if you want to make it more visually appealing and focus more on UI part rather than research part. Then Behance is a good idea. I would say that PDF is also a great idea when you means you can take that decision. Behance or PDF, it's your own decision, but PDF is also a good idea. Keynote is good idea, but I would not recommend it, because then your creativity as a designer restricts, because then you have to think from like what kind of format should I use and all those things. So I would not recommend Keynote, but people do share their case studies on Keynotes also. So you have to be very particular about how you are presenting your case study on Keynotes. So yeah, so I generally use Medium and PDF format. I don't use Behance Dribble for my UX case study interview. So maybe these two are the good ideas, because majorly I go with text heavy approach. So maybe that's why I choose for Medium and Behance, Medium and PDF. But if I want to show some visual heavy thing, then I would like to go with Behance. Another thing, motivation for. Okay, thanks for this, but reading it late. Vaishnavi, as you said, we don't design user persona, write it on our own. Okay, so design what? See, uh, okay, let me explain you other way. So before thinking about your customer profile or finalizing your customer profile, what are your steps? Is it about selecting or choosing templates? I'm sure it's not, right? So when it's not choosing or selecting your templates, then you should not be concerned about the design of user persona before actually figuring out what is their motivation, pain point, needs, social forces, and all those things. I'm saying that first try to figure out these things, then make a template and make a best template in the world, but not before figuring out the key points of building this customer profile. What difference between I've already answered this. Please share your Behance portfolio. I don't have a Behance portfolio. I have my own website, which is ithink.design. And I generally go with my Medium, post my case studies on Medium. So you can review it there. The, okay. Okay. So, yeah. So define customer profile. I would like. So you can post more questions. I'm still taking questions. We have time. Uh, so you can ask me anything. So, okay, about define customer profile. Let me go back to that screen again where I have shared, told you about customer profile, and I can retell you about how to build that one. Okay. I'm taking more questions, guys. ठीक है. सब कुछ छोड़ दो. एक एग्जाम्पल पे आते हैं. फॉर फूड डिलीवरी ऐप ओनली, आई वुड, अब फूड डिलीवरी ऐप के लिए मुझको एक कस्टमर प्रोफाइल बनानी है. जस्ट हेल्प मी आउट विद योर thinking. So for food delivery app, I want to make a customer profile. What could be a customer segments? Okay, what is customer segment first? So customer segments could be like कि किस तरह के customers हो सकते हैं उसके लिए. So please type on the chat comment box so that we all learn how to make customer profile and what I'm talking about. किस तरह के लोग फूड ऑर्डर करते हैं ऑनलाइन? Nobody is answering. Okay. So when I talk about customer segment, I think that किस तरह के customers order करते हैं, which is majorly people who don't have cook. तभी तो वो ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर करते हैं. उनको कुकिंग नहीं आती होगी, मतलब they don't know how to cook. Another thing could be they are too lazy to cook. Another thing could be they are too busy to cook. They have too many meetings. They don't have any household help. Working people, PG students, yes. So all these things. So these are customer segments. I'm not talking about one customer. I'm talking about segments. उनका पैटर्न क्या रहता है ऑर्डर करने का? ठीक है, पैटर्न बोल से मतलब कि वो कब ऑर्डर करते हैं. इफ आई, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई टेक working people, when they would want to order food, tell me about that. Okay, nobody is answering. I would like to see some answers. Okay, maybe I can just tell you. Pattern could be when they're too busy in the meetings and office work, they order food. When their household help, means when their cook is not coming or on leave. So something like that. So that would be the pattern. Matlab working, now we have, there is one customer segment which is working people. Another pattern could be जब उनको हाउस होल्ड हेल्प नहीं होती है, जब उनको मतलब कुकिंग नहीं आती है, और ये सारे उनके पैटर्न्स हो गए. स्टाइल्स कुड बी जनरली दे ऑर्डर फूड ड्यूरिंग लंच. ब्रेकफास्ट में वो कुछ भी बना लेते हैं, दैट इज इजी टू मेक, सो वो बना लेते हैं. डिनर में दे डोंट केयर, दे ईट एनीथिंग, बट फॉर लंच दे ऑर्डर ऑनलाइन. सो दैट कुड बी अ स्टाइल कि वो जनरली लंच ही ऑर्डर करते हैं. सो मैंने कस्टमर सेगमेंट को कैसे डिवाइड किया था? PG students, working professionals, ABC, something. Pattern could be कब वो ऑर्डर करते हैं, विच इज लाइक जब उनकी कुक नहीं आती है, जब उन्हें उन्हें खाना बनाना नहीं आता है, और वो बिजी होते हैं. दिस कुड बी सर्टेन पैटर्न्स दैट दे जनरली ऑर्डर. Or style, maybe, style could be they generally take COD services. They like to have the subscription plans and all those things because they forget to order their food. So this could be style. Now you have decided this. Now you have to break that customer profile. Working professional का demographic क्या हो सकता है? Make an assumption. Gender, age, salary क्या हो सकता है? उनके मोटिवेशंस क्या हो सकते हैं, उनके पेन पॉइंट्स क्या हो सकते हैं, उनके नीड्स क्या हो सकते हैं, उनके बिहेवियर क्या हो सकते हैं, उनके सोशल फोर्सेस क्या हो सकते हैं. तो ऐसे तुमने 4-5 कस्टमर सेगमेंट्स बनाए और उनके अंडर तुमने उनकी डेमोग्राफिक से की, मोटिवेशन लेके, पेन पॉइंट लेके, नीड्स लेके, बिहेवियर लेके, सोशल फोर्सेस लेके. That would actually lead you to a point where you are thinking from a broader perspective, not from a restricted perspective. Not for You are not making for any nishta, you are not making for any suraj, you are making for a one whole set of people who are working people. So this is what customer profile is. You divide your users, your persona, into segments. Right. So I think, yeah, I have few more questions. Going back to questions now. Okay. So I think I did that. How does UX analyst play role in case study? Uh, I don't know why. How does analytics play roles? I don't know. Like, I'm not getting this question. Can you please come again and elaborate on it? I have seen templates for customer journey. Is it necessary to use? Definitely not. You can make your own if you are perfect at. The templates are there, the frameworks are there. But if you think that there are certain things that is working well with you, you can obviously take that framework, use that framework. If it is not, you can make your own framework. Okay. Uh, I think like I have answered all your questions. So okay guys, like this is the end of this session, but you can surely experiment this techniques and tools, and means you can go through this presentation. It will be available on this YouTube Design Gupshup YouTube channel. You can practice this, and if you have any doubt or anything, you can reach me out on LinkedIn. My reply time is a little late, but I reply to all my messages, so you can definitely reach me out. Plus we have Design Gupshup YouTube channel. You can comment on below this video. I can obviously reach you out through that medium. Plus you can also post your questions on our Design Gupshup WhatsApp group. So yeah, so this is the end of the session. Hope you enjoy it. Hope it was insightful for you. See you in our next Design Gupshup session, which I will be announcing soon. Yeah. Bye, guys. See you.